Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bowl TV. This is Matt Canizaro alongside Aaron Smith, and we are getting down to the nitty-gritty here at Samstown Bowling Center in Las Vegas. We're down to 16 competitors at the 2017 USBC Senior Masters. So we're spread out across the house. As you can see, we've got one main match going on in our little featured area that we've had all week. Our TV studio, so to speak, and we've got a couple matches down to our left and to our right, so we actually have two cameras set up. We're going to flip back and forth so you can at least see a couple of different matches here going on. But we'll give you the rundown here so you know what's happening. You're more than welcome to follow along on the live scoring. Just go to bowl.com/Senior Masters and click on the results tab, and you'll be able to get to the live scoring mechanism there and follow the bowlers across the house. Based on just the way the bracket's kind of shaken down, we'll have the next winner's bracket match, but not possible to have them in the vicinity of this game. But coming up this round, we have in the winner's bracket Walter Ray Williams Jr. and Bob Learn. And the other match is Andy Nyer and Pete Weber. So the four players left undefeated at this year's Senior Masters. Those two matches, the winners then will advance to the match that determines our top two seeds for the stepladder finals. So just a couple wins away for these four bowlers, and a really good opportunity to win this year's event. Again, Walter Ray Williams Jr. taking on Bob Learn, and Andy Nyer and Pete Weber. Both of those gentlemen made the stepladder last year here at Samstown. And of course, Pete Weber going on to win the event for the second time. So those guys are off to our left. Weber and Nyer bowling on lanes 13 and 14. That's where the camera's set up, so we're able to flip back and forth and at least get a distant view of what's happening over there. No scoreboard for that. A little bit challenging to see that, but we'll at least bring you the action, and we can follow along on the live scoring. And now going to the contenders bracket, or the elimination bracket, so it's now called. We have the left-hander match, Doug Becker and Paul McCordick. And the winner there will advance to take on Norm Duke in the next round. And that's coming up in just a couple of hours. Next match there, Mika Koivuniemi and Ron Moore, the local standout from North Las Vegas and our recent Super Senior Classic champion. And the match you're watching right now is Scott Cray and Tony Rodriguez. So they're going to do battle here, a three-game match, total pinfall. And that player will advance to meet Brian LeClaire, a two-time winner on the PBA 50 Tour this year. And going back one match between Mika and Ron Moore, the winner will take on Lenny Borish in the next round. So four players waiting for the results of this round's elimination matches. Final elimination match is James Wallace and John Chauvinek. Those two gentlemen battling for the opportunity to bowl against the left-hander from Florida, Darrell Dempsey. So again, 16 players remaining. Winners bracket, Walter Ray and Bob Learn Jr., Andy Nyer and Pete Weber, two winners there. Guaranteed spots on TV. And they'll have a match to determine who's the 1 seed, who's the 2 seed. Everybody else will, of course, take their losses and move on to the elimination bracket. And by day's end, we will have a 4-player shootout. So the last 4 players remaining in the elimination bracket will have a 3-game shootout. Total pins will determine the 3, 4, and 5 seeds. And the low bowler will be out of the event. So a lot happening right there. But you can check out the bracket on the results tab, bowl.com/Senior Masters. It'll show you what's what, who's already come and gone here at this year's event. We started with 277 competitors. Now we're down to just 16, so appreciate everybody's patience and understanding here with the setup. As the matches get closer, they'll be coming our way. We'll have the big match up next on 21 and 22. And then we'll have the camera facing 15 and 16, I believe, is where the other close match will be. So things getting a little more spread out here. 56 lane center, and using almost every bit of it here as the 8 matches are spread out across the house. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat room. We're glad to answer to the best of our knowledge or make up something impressive. Otherwise, please enjoy what we've got here. Check out the live scoring to follow your favorite players. And thank you for joining us as we march our way closer to knowing who our 2017 USBC Senior Masters champion will be.
So after Tony Rodriguez takes care of this 9-pin, we'll switch over to 13 and 14 for a few shots. Get you an update of that match. As soon as someone gets up to the lanes, it's Pete's turn. He's not really paying attention though. So we'll get one more shot here from Scott Cray since Pete is just walking to the approach now. And there's Pete. This is frame at number 7. A clean start, but it's been a little bit of work on Pete's end. 2 split conversions, as well as a 7-count spare. But Andy Nyer, back-to-back opens in the second and the third, followed up by 3 in a row. 8 frames of 4, 5, and 6. Pretty much has this match all tied up. Whoever can take a 10-pin lead with a strike here in the 8th, he's up on the approach. And yowza. Stuffs the 9. So pretty close over there. As they head towards the end of game 1. Scott Cray delivering a nice shot there. His 7th frame. Hi, Tom Zeller. Thanks for joining. 18 years ago, buddy. You and I. Partying at the Senior Masters. Tony Rodriguez has been impressing all week so far. 6 out of 7 to start here. Lost in the last round, or lost his last winner's bracket match to Norm Duke, then bounced back with a victory over Brian Goebel. And trouble for Nyer in frame 9. This is just a 1-pin match between him and Weber. Leaves the 3-6-7. Makes the 3-6-7. How about that? So Weber's gonna have a chance to step up in the 10th frame, or 9th and 10th, excuse me. Build a lead after 1. Pete strikes in the 9th, can get to 216 this game. Max for Nyer, 202. Weber already getting amped up. Knows the importance of winning this match. Guarantees a spot on the stepladder and an opportunity for back-to-back, or actually 3 in a row, as the top overall seed.
Pete Weber never had an opportunity to win the regular USBC Masters, so very emotional picking up his first win here in 2013. Let one get away in 2015. Got redemption last year in dramatic fashion. Looking to become the first 3-time winner at this event and first back-to-back winner since Tom Baker in 2007.
How'd you feel if Pete pointed at you? Like, I know we talked a little bit about the instance at the Masters where you got a glare, but I mean, Pete just pointed at the pins there, and I felt bad for the pins.
Pete rises to the occasion at the majors, no matter the injury or what's going on in life. He loves them. And now we got back-to-back for these guys here in Las Vegas.
So that's going to be a 215 total for Pete in the books. He's going to have the lead regardless. Just a matter of how much Andy Nyer can dive into it.
Again, we have 8 matches going on. Oh. Big miscue there by Rodriguez. 3-game match. Can't give away pins. On a 2-pin, no less. Big moment for a lot of these guys. 16 players left. We're going to lose 4 more. Six more? All right, 4 more this round. We're down to 12.
So 215, 191. Pete Weber, advantage over Andy Nyer. 10th frame here on 19 and 20. Tony Rodriguez bounces back after the miscue in the 9th frame. Let's look at the 246. Scott Cray max 238. Bob Lerner Jr. will have a slight lead over Walter Ray Williams Jr. heading into game 2. Mika Koivunemi gonna have the lead over Ron Moore. Good match right there. Mika can shoot 279 still. Moore in the books at 213. Miscue in the 9th frame from Doug Becker. Paul McCordick will have the opportunity to have the game 1 lead. And John Chovanec will have a 50-plus pin lead over James Wallace. Holy cow. Around that time, that was almost a 5-7-10. Tony's stealing my hits. Nice shot to kick off the 10th there for Cray. Tough break for Weber there. You can see the ball at least hitting the pins when we're not over there. And that was him leaving the high flush 7 pin. That way giving him an early double. Instead looking at strike and spare. Koivunemi up at 279 to 213 on Ron Moore. We'll go back to 13 and 14. Weber up in frame number 3. Spare. And that could have been big time trouble. Just leaves the 4-7 though. Cray cleans up the single pin. 245 to 247. Tony Rodriguez Jr. up by 18. Stay over there for Andy Nyer. This is his 3rd frame, working on a strike after a spare in the 1st. Leaves a 7 pin as well on lane 14. Tony didn't like that one, but catches the break. Something you gotta get in this event. Nice cover there by Andy Nyer. That was the second time we've seen him convert the 3-6-7 in this match. Although we only saw part of it, but Weber and Nyer certainly wasting no time to get through this match. So both players have crossed over on lane 19 to start game 2, so that's fair.
All looks the same on the scoreboard. Had you been looking at the other lanes and you came back to this pair, we'll just see 3 X's up there. There's no style points, no bonus points for good fundamentals.
First double of game 2 for Weber right there. Rodriguez, great shot there. Takes advantage of shot that gets got a little left to target last time, so makes an early double. Still maintains his 18-pin lead. Andy Nyer delivered a strike in the 5th. Tomahawks the 7 for a double in the 6th.
All right, much better shot on lane 19 for Rodriguez after crossing over in the first frame. Both players now perfect here to start things off in game 2. Rodriguez leading 245-227 after the opener.
This is Weber in the 6th frame, working on 2 consecutive strikes, and late love tap on the 10 gives him 3 in a row.
Nice break there for Cray, looking to leave just the 4 after the double to start, so falling back a little bit more.
I'll give him a 6 on the landing. Some footing issues, but converts the spare. Weber left a 10-pin and cleaned it up in the 7th frame. Give Nyer a chance to add on to his double already and get that match a little bit closer. Nyer left a 7-pin in the 7th that he cleaned up, and now a 10-pin on 13. So Weber up 11 in the match, or the game. Was up by 24 overall in the match after 1. So adding on to his leading total. 1 step away from solidifying a spot in the stepladder finals once again. Tony wasn't sure there for a second. Did the spin like they all fell, right? This is Weber in the 8th. And looks like the 3-6.
Rodriguez up on 19. Trying to stay perfect here in game 2. Gets the 10 to go. So building on that 18-pin lead over Cray.
Weber delivered a strike in the 9th. Can max out 235. Andy Nyer strikes in the 9th. He can get to 225. We'll stay on 13 and 14 since they're already in the 10th. Just starting frame 6 on 19 and 20. All right, Chris Moffitt, good run, bud. Appreciate you tuning in. The colorful language as well. Nyer with the spare can get to 205. We'll call it 204. It's going to be at 395. So Weber will have a chance to get to 235. Be up nearly 60 pins heading into game 3. We'll use the 10. 7-10 up there for a quick second. Tony Rodriguez's string of strikes ended at 6, left at 3, 6, 9, 10, and covered it up. So Weber looking down a pair of 215s. So Weber's going to have a 430, 395 advantage. 35 pins heading into game number 3. Back-to-back 3-6-9-10s for Tony Rodriguez.
In our other winner's bracket match, Mr. Ray Williams Jr. about to get into the 270s. Bob Learn, back-to-back splits in the 6th and 7th frames. He can get to 221 this game. Those guys are down on 31 and 32 off to our right.
Yeah, looks like the Weber-Nyer match, definitely the quickest one. This guy's wasting 0 time up there. So Walter Ray finishes up with 266 to get to 493 for his 2-game total. Bob Learn can strike out, get to 457 overall with 221. Quick question in the chat, Brian LeClaire. He was sent to the elimination bracket last round. So he will be on the lanes when we're up next, right around 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 local time here in Las Vegas. Brian will actually get the winner of, let's see, which match? Actually, the winner of this match going on right now, Scott Cray and Tony Rodriguez Jr. Tony is getting very familiar with the 3-6-10 combos. Going through the nose the last 3. That one too far right leaves the washout. Get a quick look over at 13 and 14. Pete Weber started double 9 spare. This is his 4th frame. Andy Nyer spare double to start. Weber was up 35 after 2. Nice cover, Tony. Just giving away some counting here in the past few shots, but making some tough spares here too. Nearly big time trouble there for Cray in the 9th. Staring down at 210 for a second there. Nearly got that one all the way back, so lane's starting to open up a little bit for him. So Scott can get to 216, 227 still available for Tony Rodriguez. That was Weber in the 5th frame, delivering a double. Great shot by Scott to kick off the 10th. We'll go back for Weber's 6th frame. Saws the 9. If there's one solid thing about having this angle at the moment, Matt, is Pete Weber's celebrations are coming right at us. Take a quick look at Nyer's response. And he just needs to keep striking here. And can max out 269 this game. Weber 279 max, so Pete just needs to stay out of trouble here. Should be all right, but if you spares start adding up, you never know. Oh, that is bad news for Andy Nyer. Gonna lose a lot of pins on count there. That is a 4. And unable to convert, so Pete Weber. Getting closer to return a trip to the stepladder. Weber nearly gives the split back. Fortunate just to have the 10 pin standing. Pete up 35, just needs to fill frames here. 217, 215. Tony Rodriguez Jr. adds 2 more pins onto his lead, makes it even 20 heading into game 3. Heading back to 13 and 14. Andy Nyer can max out at 227 after the split in the 7th. Make that 217 now. Weber already in the 180s, even if he didn't just got to count on the next shot. 180s, 190s, so pretty much all wrapped up here. Pete just needs to stay behind the foul line the rest of the way out. So we're going to stay on 19 and 20 here. (13 and 14). Pretty much done, just a matter of final score. Pete Weber is going to be in the winner's bracket final. Who's he going to face off against? Walter Ray Williams Jr. or Bob Allern Jr.? Looking at live scoring, looks like the advantage in Walter Ray's court, so an epic showdown for the top seed. Looks like it's going to be in play next. John Jovanik in good position against James Wallace to move on another round. All the other matches a little too close to call at the moment, so we'll let those matches begin to develop a little bit more. Matt making the walk down. Looks like 658, 574. Final score. In the Weber-Nyer match. And to Sam Ward in the chat, you are correct. True double elimination format in play. John Chovanec can put up a big number against James Wallace. To make it into the top 12 overall. Tony Rodriguez putting some pressure on here. Looks like in our other winner's bracket match, Walter Ray would just need some type of mark to solidify a win if Bob Learn Jr. punches out in the 10th. Trouble in the 4th for Cray. Mika Koivunemi up 49 with half a game to go against Ron Moore. Still pretty close between Paul McCordick and Doug Becker. Over on 43 and 44. Oh, looks like Bob Learn did strike out. So that should get him to 704. If my math is correct. So Walter will just actually, I think 9 on his first ball would be enough. Looks like he delivered a strike. Walter Ray Williams Jr. and Pete Weber are going to be in the stepladder finals of the 2017 USBC Senior Masters. And we will see who the top seed is going to be next. They're going to square off in lanes 21 and 22. That match is going to start in just about an hour. So Rodriguez unable to get the 10 out. So 773, 659, the official score on the Chovanec-Wallace match. 717, 704, Walter Ray over Bob Learn Jr. So Bob's going to head off to the elimination bracket. Nice shot from Tony there. Doing what he needs to do. think the most interesting match, looking at the score, is probably Becker and McCordick. It's a nice shot from Scott. Gonna need a few more of those. Put some pressure on Tony. Mika Koivuniemen is going to advance against Ron Moore. Send the Super Senior Classic champion home with another nice finish here. But a little short of the return trip to the stepladder finals. Take him when you can get him. So it looks like 16 pins. Paul McCordick with the advantage over Doug Becker heading into the 9th and 10th. Tony Rodriguez really making an impact this week. Saw him in qualifying and definitely a little bit unique with his game. Brings the ball really high up, almost places it on his right shoulder. But that helps get everything in line. And the results have been showing for it. That one needs a push though. Leaves the 3-6. Three in a row for Cray. Can max out 232. That means Rodriguez would have to find a way to get to 213 to secure the match. Currently on a 220 pace. Well, it looks like Doug Becker did what he needed to do to put the pressure on Paul McCordick. Got up and doubled in the 10th. So Becker finishes that last game with 257 to get to 671. McCordick can shoot 258 to get to 687. So he would need the first strike in the 10th. McCordick, the runner-up at the 2016 event. Well, looks like he delivered according to live scoring. So we just need decent count on his second shot in the 10th to wrap things up. Tony Rodriguez is going to wrap up the win here. So Tony makes it another round. Scott Cray has put together a great 2017 event. Gotta fall a little bit short here in this match, though. 685 will be enough to take the win. And will be enough to start our closing announcements. We're going to turn the cameras off for a little bit. The conclusion of this match, be back on the lanes at 6 p.m. Eastern to have the winner's bracket final. You're not going to want to miss it. It's that Pete Weber guy and that Walter Ray Williams Jr. guy. Last time I checked, pretty good. I know the GOAT has been thrown around a few times with both of their names. They're facing off for the top seed coming up next here on Bowl TV in just about an hour. So we got that to look forward to, Mr. Canzaro.
Absolutely. We'll get caught up with all the details here behind the scenes. Get situated for a terrific match. Those guys, obviously, we don't have to tell you who they are and what they're about and what they've accomplished. But big things happening here at Samstown Bowling Center. And Walter Ray and Pete Weber, you couldn't ask for a better battle. And we'll see if Pete Weber can make it 3 consecutive years as the #1 seed for the stepladder finals, or as married life for Walter Ray. Turn things around a little bit, having a great week here. Guaranteed a spot on the stepladder finals, both of them. They'll battle for the #1 seed, so obviously whoever doesn't win that match will be #2.
Whoa.
And then we'll continue with our elimination bracket here to see who the 4 players are who will make the shootout round later tonight. So still a lot happening here. Very cool. And Damon Sirocco is making announcements right now. But bowling is done for now, as Aaron said. 1 hour, 3 p.m. local time, 6 p.m. Eastern. We will see who our top seed will be. Pete Weber, the defending champ, or Walter Ray Williams Jr. 3-game match to determine #1. So with that said, we are going to step aside, get cleaned up here, and get ready for some more action. We do appreciate everybody tuning in to our continued live coverage of the 2017 USBC Senior Masters here at Samstown Bowling Center in Las Vegas. This is Matt Canizar for Aaron Smith. We'll be back shortly, folks. That is the news for now. We'll see you on the lanes.